The 27th meeting of the Park Cities Rotary Club, and if we all could just take a moment and get up and just mingle amongst all of our friends here, and all new members, again, just raise your hand also if you're a new member. We want everyone to meet everybody, but take a few minutes and then we'll get the show on the road. Really? Can you? This works too.
That might be good. All right.
No, you definitely want to come up here.
Thank you. Hi. How you doing, Richard? So your daughter is what year?
Sophomore.
Yep.
And do you go to Colorado offer and just wait for her to come here?
Okay, everyone, if we could take a seat.
Take care of the need.
We'll have Janie Loveless come up and do our invocation and our Pledge of Allegiance and National Anthem.
Let us pray. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Let us pray.
Hold on.
Oh,
We're now in order.
Now let us pray. Lord, thank you for the values of Rotary and the special friendships it creates. Help us show kindness, understanding, and tolerance for those who are different than we are and whose beliefs differ from ours. Help us to foster civility and fight the hatred and divisiveness that surround us, and let us be examples of the kind of people you want us to be. We pray for the people in California who are suffering from massive floods and mudslides. Be with our leaders, military, and all those who fight for democracy, especially be with the people of the Middle East and Ukraine. Thank you for this meal, our chance to be together, and our many blessings. Amen. And let us say the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Janie. And now, Richard. Gonna walk around for Happy Bucks. There has to be some KC Chiefs fans out here who want to give some Happy Bucks. We're kind of putting the pressure on you.
I am neither a Chiefs nor a Niners fan, but I am celebrating today, and I want to be careful how I say this. I'm officially a sexagenarian today.
Oh. Sounds dirty.
Eat more vegetables. Yeah.
Go Chiefs!
All right, go Chiefs.
Happy Bucks over here. Any Happy Bucks?
My question is, I'm real curious who Kathy Wall is for tomorrow at Sunday. Oh, there's Kathy. He's taken. I'd heard.
Niners 37-27. Thank you very much.
Any others? You can put some more in. Guest. Anybody get guests today? Anyone? Okie dokie. Greg Pape, coming out of our foundation word. Oh, yes. Come on, Paul.
I wasn't listening. You first. Stand up. First, I would like to introduce my friend Todrick Johnson. Todrick is the district executive for Circle 10 West Park District, so he is essentially the professional scouter that is assigned to our district, and he and I work together, so give Todrick a welcome.
Welcome.
This is Greg Murray. Greg's a first-time visitor, and we just met a minute ago, and frankly, I don't know much about him other than his son was a scout in Troop 70, so kind of got a scouting thing going on here, so welcome for the first time, Greg.
Thank you.
Obviously, this is the visitor table over here. This is DJ Juan. DJ is the owner and general manager of Seniors Helping Seniors, which Kind of sounds like this club, doesn't it? Anyway, welcome DJ. He just sort of walked in today, so his first time.
Welcome. Any others?
Yep.
Greg Pape.
Thank you, President Jeff. I'd love for Cindy Cummings to join me. And is Trish Cunningham here today by chance? There she is. Come on up, Trish. Hey, as they come up, I look out into the audience and I see members who have invested significant resources and many volunteer hours in causes that help Rotary to promote health, peace, and prosperities. As Rotarians, we have a global reach, providing clean water and sanitation, supporting education, preventing and treating disease, and saving mothers and children. I've been saying that for years, and someone said, well, what does that mean? Well, saving mother and children means an estimated 6 million kids under the age of 5 die each year because of malnutrition, inadequate health care, and poor sanitation. So that's on Rotary's agenda. And to follow up, protecting the environment, promoting peace, and growing local economies. For 40 years, Rotary has been the key force in the effort to end polio worldwide, and within the eradication program, Rotary and its partners, which includes World Health Organization, UNICEF, United Nations Children's Fund, the Gates Foundation, collectively have achieved with Rotary a 99.9% reduction in polio cases. Rotary members have contributed $2.6 billion thus far since '85, and protecting more than 3 billion children in 122 countries. 18 million people are walking today who would have otherwise been paralyzed by polio. If funds to eradicate polio were not available, here's the bottom line, within 10 years, as many as 200,000 children would be paralyzed by each and every year. Bottom line, no place on earth is safe from polio until the disease is eradicated everywhere. On today's agenda, recognizing those that are giving us the support that we need through the Rotary Foundation. Van Oliver, I thank you for your Paul Harris Society contribution today. And I'd like to thank Trish Cunningham, who is president and CEO of our wonderful, beloved North Texas Food Bank. And today, Trish is a second-level Rotary Foundation contributor. And last, but by no means the least, is Cindy Cummings, who's been a member of our Rotary Club since 2010, and moving right on up the ladder, she is a fourth-level contributor. Cindy. Oop, okay. Jeff. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, everyone. That is wonderful news. Now, the Marketplace Advertiser, I'd like to call on Eric Harrison.
Good afternoon. Our Marketplace Advertiser today is Patricia Martin, publisher of People Magazine. Listen to me, People newspapers. So Pat is an experienced leader of teams with the ability to bring people together to focus on a common goal. Pat has a reputation for getting things done with an innate ability to organize all the moving parts and create a process to implement a project within the design timetable. Pat enjoys meeting others and has a strong desire to help people grow. She recognizes others' potential and works to help them improve and develop new skills. We thank Patricia Martin and People Newspapers for being the Marketplace Advertiser of the Day.
Thanks, Eric, and Pat is a great contributor to our club, so please give her a thanks when you see her next. And now I'd like to call on Alan Wynn to speak to the parade.
Today is the final day for two important things for the parade. One is figuring out who the Grand Marshal is going to be. If you would get your nominations into Cleve, that would be great. And then also today you'll see on your tables there is a yellow piece of paper that has many parade themes that people have put in. And we're going down to pick the final one. So please put the ones you choose with the number one choice would be just one, and then number two choice would be number two. Other than that, thank you.
Thank you, Al. More sheets. If you need a sheet, let us know and we'll get it out to you. Get extra? Okay. And a couple of announcements real quick. One thing you probably all saw, there is the Rotary Means Business is on the 13th. It's at 12 Cuts in Addison, I think, is where it will be located. But also on the 18th, we have dinner at Joey's. If you want to sign up for that, register online. Happy's leading that up. That should be a fun event. And then also we have PCR Connect on the 29th of February. And then there is the March 9th Crawfish Festival in Ferris Plaza. And then, of course, on the 29th, we don't have a general meeting for Easter holidays. And with that, Kathy Wall, you're in the middle of your meal, but I'm going to ask you to do the raffle. And so what's the grand number we're up to now again? So hopefully you have that winning ticket. You can place it on the Chiefs if you win. And the winning number is 1238, if I'm reading this correctly. Yeah. 1238, final four numbers. 1238. Richard. Ace of Spades is what we're looking for here. Next time. Now I'd like to call Happy Franklin for a chair of the day and introduce our speaker.
Happy Friday. I'm really thrilled to introduce Kathy Allred. She has walked on all 7 continents. She's lived in England, Spain, and Iceland. She's administered the polio vaccine in India. She's been a Rotarian for 34 years this month. And she's lived in California, Florida, Missouri, and Texas. And she is this year and next year's District International Convention Chair. International travel is one of her passions. I challenge you to ask her about a country that she hasn't already been to. How many countries have you been to? 124. There's not that many left. Anyways, without any further ado, I would like to welcome up Kathy Allred. It'll be lots of fun.
Okay. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. If you, at some point, you don't, please get my attention, and I will try to correct that. I am so pleased to be here today. We'll start off with a little bit of homework, so to speak. On the table, there's a couple of these bookmarks. It gives you information about Singapore. And if anybody would like one, I've got a few more, but I have other clubs that I'm talking to, so I hand them out. I'm careful, I'm judicious as I hand them out. Okay, enough of that. Why am I here? Pat, our happy lady over here said it very well. I'm here because I am the district's speaker promoter for international conventions. This year it's in Singapore. It's from May 25th through May 29th. And I'm going to do things a little bit differently if I could. You can't hear me. Okay. What? Okay. Tasting. Okay. Okay. So first of all, I'd like to ask a favor of you. And that favor is I would like for this to be an interactive conversation. So if I'm talking about something and I change my subject and you don't think I've talked about it enough and you have something to add, would you please raise your hand? I'll call upon you and go ahead, because it helps the rest of the people understand. So if you would do that, I'd really appreciate it. Was it something I said? Sorry, guys, it was there. I couldn't pass it up. What can I tell you? Okay. I'm here to promote conventions. I've been to 16 of them, and I'm really proud of that. And I get asked questions like, why in the world, woman, would you go to that many conventions? Aren't they all the same? No, they're not. For several reasons I go. I'm not talking to you, Jeff. I just want to make this clear right now. Sometimes when you've been around, been in Rotary a while, in this case 34 years for me, you get to wondering, do I still serve a purpose? What am I doing here? Maybe you don't like the direction the club's going. Maybe it's something personal. You know, you don't like the leadership. You don't like somebody really hurt your feelings. I've done enough. And I go to one of these conventions and I come back so energized. I am so proud to be a Rotarian, so happy to be here, have the ability, and not only the ability, but use that ability to go out and help people around the world. That's what Rotary is to me, and I get so excited. Many of the clubs, not just in this district, but all over, go ahead and subsidize the incoming president to go ahead and attend the international conventions. Jeff, I believe, can attest to this. And part of why we do that is to get the leadership all hyped up, like I was talking about. So you've got folks coming back, hopefully sharing with the clubs some of the things that they've done, some of the people that they've met, and just stories to tell. For that reason, I keep going to international conventions. And in conjunction with that, if everything goes as currently scheduled, this year it's Singapore, next year it's Calgary. The year after that is Taiwan. And my intention is to go to the Taiwan convention and then fly to Mongolia. I plan on staying in a yurt. You know, the people, their housing, if you will, the ones out in the country. And then, if I can, get on one of those horses and get a strap on my wrist with a falcon on it and go hunting. That's what I want to do. Okay, it's a little ambitious, I know, but you know, if I don't aim for it, I know I won't get there. So, to me, it's not only the joy of being with fellow Rotarians, meeting them, meeting up with new friends, old friends. It's also the ability to tag something onto it that can prove to be very, very special. Okay, so I think I'm going to ask the gentleman to my right, if he would be so kind, is to start with the speakers. Yes, sir. Thank you.
One, it's a place for all. Attending a convention is also a privilege of being a Rotarian and given the opportunity to be meeting with people from all over the world.
And that's what I tell everybody. You develop these global friends.
You'll meet new friends from Canada, from Australia, from Nigeria, Japan.
You need to see what real Rotary is about outside of the club.
Having a chat about service in that kind of environment with like-minded people, that was really nice. I really like that.
You don't know until you get here how easy it is to move your ideas forward, because you'll just be chatting to a person over a cup of coffee and you will have an opportunity to meet a mentor.
So sometimes the convention is where you have a reunion. And so as I've had this experience in Rotary, I've had this opportunity to meet people, and I love coming to convention because I get to see them.
I feel there are so many things that I needed to learn from people from different countries with the knowledge and expertise.
It just makes you feel good to be a part of it.
Honestly, it's very difficult to find one memories. It's more the emotions that will forever be with you.
But overall is the amount of Rotarians that trust in a new experience. It is a part of our evolution, I think, and every convention provides that.
Thank you. I find that moving, to listen to these people from around the world and giving their testimonials. I totally and completely relate to them. A disclaimer, I am not a travel agent. I am not a tour guide. I never aspired to be either of those things, and I ain't gonna do it. That said, I would like to share with you that I did do a little bit of research on what the current flights are if you were to fly domestically to Singapore from DFW, or well done. And be that business class, be that economy. I just did it to be able to share that with you, to give you an idea. My plan today is to share information with you that you cannot find online, okay? You can go online. I'm probably the least literate computer person in this room. No, honestly. Oh, we'll compare notes later, okay? Anyway, I just lost my chain of thought. Okay, so comparing notes and so forth. What I plan on doing is sharing with you stories and personal experience and things in general that I think would be helpful for this and any other Rotary convention that you would consider going to. For example, when you go online and you look up Rotary International Convention Singapore, different clicks you can do, and you'll find a place that gives you information on hotels, which is really wonderful, because those hotels have all been vetted, I won't say recommended by Rotary, but vetted. These are hotels where they have transportation from the convention center that comes around, picks you up, takes you over there, will pick you up at the convention center, bring you back. If you have an activity going that evening, well, that's all right. They'll pick you up and take you to the convention center, which is pretty much where all of these things generate, the starting point, and they will either take you back to your hotel at the end, or they will go ahead and take you back to the convention center, and you can use your own ride to get back to your hotel. So it's very well thought out. There's this big board in the center of the lobby of the hotel telling you when the bus is going to leave, when it's going to arrive at the convention center, and the reverse of that. Why am I belaboring this, you ask me? Well, there really is a good reason. Who's on the bus? Rotarians from around the world. And it's one of the easiest ways to go ahead and make friends with people. I have literally friends all around the world. One of them I made on the bus in Toronto, and he is past district governor from Pakistan. Would never have this friend if I hadn't been on that bus. I put a lot of value on this and the ability you have to connect with people from around the world. And from time to time, we've discussed about maybe doing a project together or something, because they're a very active club. But no, we haven't gotten there. That's the bottom line. Doesn't mean we won't, just we haven't. Sir, did I see your hand up? Or no, that was my mistake, sorry. Okay, moving right along. How many of you have been to a Rotary International Convention? Hands up, please. All right, that's wonderful. That rarely happens, even with a club this size, that rarely happens. 4 is the most I've had so far when I've been out talking to folks. It is really wonderful. You go online, you register. Speaking of registration, the last rate increase occurred on December 16th. It is currently $595. On April 1st, it goes up to $695. Just a heads up on that. So time is of the essence. If you're thinking about doing it, now would be the best time. Okay, we've talked about transportation, we've talked about meeting people. Let's talk about Rotary Convention. So, first of all, it is kicked off by this amazing presentation. We're all sitting there. Traditionally, they turn the lights down dim. And my very first one, people came in carrying their flags from their country, riding a bicycle. I don't know how they did that. I mean, honestly, I don't. I have a hard enough time staying on a bike just with me. But anyway, and then later on, I couldn't figure it out. It's strange, not bad, just different music that I was hearing. Come to find out that the music matched up with the flag. It was a national anthem of the people that were coming along. The spotlight hit them and their national anthem was playing. And you get to see all of these flags come in. Often it's done by school children, perhaps Boy Scouts or something on the order of that. And they all come in and they place the flags along the front, and then they stand there, and it's just overwhelming. When I joined Rotary, I knew I was joining Rotary. What I didn't know and didn't really understand was Rotary International. And it was attending this first convention that I started to figure out what this was all about. I still haven't figured it out totally, don't misunderstand, but I got a clue. And speaking of my first convention, here's what happened. First of all, I'd been a Rotarian for a couple of years, and I came to Rotary, and I found out that I'd missed a meeting where they did elections, and I was president-elect. Laugh if you will, that's the truth. Don't miss any meetings, I'm just saying. So, okay. Anyway, time goes along, and as we're getting closer to my time, and I've tried to prepare because I've gone to Toastmasters, I've done everything I can think of to make me a good president. And one of the Rotarians walks up to me and says, "So what are you going to do in France?" I'm not going to France. Yeah, you are. Okay. Well, it seems as how I was in a club that always sent their incoming presidents to the International Convention. Mine was being held in Nice. Aww. I didn't get to choose. That's all I can say. And so, I see these things I'm describing to you. And I walk in and there's all these gorgeous ladies wearing these spectacular outfits, saris and sarongs, and just, oh my gosh, it takes your breath away. And it's just really hitting me. This is Rotary International. And it seems like so many, sometimes, some of the things I've done in Rotary is be an AG a couple of times and assistant district governor and just things and stuff. And so many of the clubs, only when I've asked them, what's the name of our organization? It's Rotary. No. And they start to get a little unhappy with me, and then finally somebody says Rotary International. And it really drives home who and what we are. You know, we're approximately 1,400,000 people, all working for the same cause, for the good of others, to help improve things, to lend a helping hand. And I can't think of a better way to have a real appreciation for who we are individually and collectively than to go to a Rotary International Convention. One of the highlights, there's two major things that I really like. One is the House of Friendship, and that House of Friendship is amazing. There's at least 200 to 300 booths set up, and it was because I stopped at one of these booths that I had an amazing experience. There was an iron lung, and I'm thinking just about everybody in the room knows what an iron lung is. Is that fair? Okay. So there was a younger couple walking by who went, well, what's that? Which led to a conversation. And they didn't have a clue as to what it was for or why we would have ever needed it. I stayed and talked to the people at the booth. Obviously, it was a polio booth. And I ended up going to India and administering polio vaccines in the slum areas outside of Agra. It's not like anything I've ever done, and I'm really pleased to have been given the opportunity. Had I not gone to that convention, wouldn't have happened. Well, maybe the next one or the next one, but I'm going to tell you that it got me hooked, it got me wanting to go. There are other things that go on in the convention. I said all these booths. Sometimes you meet people, a booth is set up, because they like to brew their own beer, and they've got a whole group of people that like to do that. I love the way you nod your head. Sometimes it's whiskey. Sometimes it's skydiving. Sometimes it's pilots. And if you can't find what you're interested in, start one. It's that simple. They also have things like Rotary shirts and jackets and things to sell, and honestly, I've left a good part of my budget in that area whenever I go to the conventions. But that said, my other favorite thing is when the clubs get together and they have home host hospitality. I have attended this in different parts of the world. Sometime, one of them, they just took one of the rooms at the convention center and had some hors d'oeuvres and some drinks and said, have a good time, folks. Thank you. But some of them, the first one I went to was in Buenos Aires. While we were having dinner in a restaurant, was hoping for a home-cooked meal, but in a restaurant, and I'm a little disappointed, to tell you the truth, and all of a sudden, a gentleman I'm guessing to be approximately 80 years old, and a young lady I'm guessing to be about 20 years old, get up and start doing the tango. And they were, in my humble opinion, the definition of poetry in motion. They were spectacular. They'd done it before, I'm pretty sure. But I was like, oh, wow. When we got through with dinner, they took us to a theater, live theater, where they had the play, The History of the Tango. That was pretty spectacular. Not what I thought I wanted, but I liked it a lot. One time up in Copenhagen, had to get on a bus, to get on the train, to get picked up by a van, to be taken into the small town. We go to a theater because the president of that club was a thespian. So we go in and they're taking us all around, and they even show us the drop, you know, on the stage where they disappear. They showed us all of this stuff. It was pretty spectacular. And then we got out and we walked along a creek. And it was just beautiful. Now, this is early May, and you're up pretty far north, so it stays light a lot longer. And you hear the creek, it's babbling a little bit as you go along, and they just mowed the grass and it smells so good. Then you look up and there's these tents, heavily laden tables with all kinds of good food. They have tables, all sizes and shapes. Got my food. Oh, they also had a variety of adult beverages, just saying. So we help ourselves, and I sit down at a table. I had a PDG from London over here. I had a DG nominee from Newport Beach, California, over here. And you get the idea. It was a mix of people, and we shared ideas. So what do you do for fundraising? How does that work for you? Have you ever considered pairing up with other clubs to go ahead and make it a little bigger, better maybe? And that's how it works. And you start getting projects from around the world if that's what you want to do. And the club really gains an enthusiasm and gets to have some really incredible experiences. You know, there's approximately 1,400,000 of us around the world. And what's expected, what I read when I went online, Singapore has stated that they expect to have approximately 20,000 Rotarians show up. I'm guessing 15. I don't have a magic wand. I'm just kind of basing on things that I know and how severely we were impacted when COVID came along, when we had to cancel Taiwan and Hawaii for having the conventions there. And so that really hit home, and then they're slower in building back up again as a result. And our government doesn't always work with us real well because they kept out several people, and I've used the term several very loosely, down in Houston. We could have had a much better crowd. It took talking to our people and saying, hey, help us here. You know, we got all these people wanting to come, bring in, generate more revenue, et cetera, but those things happen. So it has cost Rotary, and I have heard two rumors from two different people that are identical that they're thinking they may phase out Rotary International conventions, which just really, I think it's wrong. That's my personal opinion. But I'm thinking if we show up in Singapore and the next year is Calgary, we can go ahead and maybe turn that around to where we're not costing Rotary International money. We can actually generate some for them. That's my hope. How much time do I have left? Okay. How long is the last one, Mark? Yep. No, how long?
It's a minute and a half.
Okay, so I have a little more time. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Pardon? Do you want to answer the question, or you're? No, you're No. It was lower than that, I believe. Yes, it was fabulous, wasn't it? And Atlanta did good. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Is there anybody want to make a comment or ask a question right now? The hotels are variable, depending on how far you are from the convention center. Sir, I don't want to mislead you. I'm staying at the Marriott, and I'm paying like $300 a night, and I'm sharing that cost with a friend. Yes. Okay. Yep. All right. Right before I got here, I went, literally right before I came to Rotary today. So I went online and I went to Experian. Am I saying that correctly? And I found that if you left on the 16th of May and boarded to return on the 30th, you could get round trip on economy for $1,415. I double checked, I triple checked because I didn't believe it. But business class was $4,732. So I didn't really look at the carrier. I was looking at prices because I knew I'd be asked. Oh, thank you. Sorry. The thing is, depending on how you want to look at it, you've got a layover that gives you a chance to get out, stretch your legs, move around, and prepare yourself to get back on for the rest of the flight. I have a lot of experience doing this, and in this particular case, I would recommend a layover of some sort. Just kind of tangential to this, when I fly over, I'm going to fly from Dallas to Bali. I'm going to spend 5 days in Bali, and then fly on to Singapore. I know, somebody's got to do it, you know. And then on the way back, I'm actually changing carriers, so it costs me a little bit more, but I'm flying from Singapore directly to Doha, Qatar or Qatar, depending on how you want to pronounce it. And I've got a layover of 12 hours. Here's what's going to happen in those 12 hours. I'm going to deplane, take my carry-on, put it over there in the lockers, lock it up, go over to the tourist desk where I will be met by my driver/tour guide, and I'm going to spend about 9 hours touring Doha. This is going to include going out on the water, having a drink, looking at the beautiful skyline, that kind of thing. And then, of course, going to a gold souk and going to the markets and going to an Arab museum, et cetera, et cetera. I will be back at the airport by about 9:30 p.m. It's a 12-hour layover. I will be back by then, plenty of time to clear customs or whatever hoop they want me to jump through, get on my plane and fly directly back to Dallas. That's just one option. So, yes, ma'am. Totally agree. Yes, sir.
make
there's translations going on in about 5 different languages.
And you never know who you are going to meet that you may connect with later. And this story goes way back. I was sitting in Sao Paulo, that was my convention, my year, with next to past District Governor Larry Webb. And we heard a speaker, and both of us turned and looked at each other at the same time and said, she will be the first female president of Rotary International. It was Jennifer Jones. And so we said, let's go meet her. So afterwards, we waited in line and, went through the whole thing. And we met her and had a great conversation, got her information. Fast forward, C.C. Colley's birthday party. Many of you were there. We said we need to get, we're trying to get people to send videos congratulating him. And so we thought, well, she's president this year of Rotary International. Let's see if we can't get her. We went through a couple hoops, but it was very easy to connect with her, and she remembered the conversation all those years later, and she did a fabulous video for those of you who were there that night for CC, based on how many years ago? People you meet, so.
All right, I have, okay, if I may, if there's nothing pressing right now. Sir, please.
Ideas are built upon hope. On its own, hope is merely a desire. But when we come together, hope forms into ideas and resonates into action. Hope is the reason we listen to, learn from, and serve our communities. Hope sets our course forward towards sharing a better future. Sharing hope with the world, creating lasting change. Join us at the 2024 International Convention in Singapore.
One of the things that, I've been to Singapore a couple of times because I had a niece living there. One of the things that really gets me every time you walk in, and there's a waterfall in the center of the airport. It's pretty doggone spectacular. There's, and this isn't the right term, an aviary I believe is for birds. I don't know what it is for butterflies, but they have a butterfly area over there. Really cool. They have a swimming pool on top if you really feel a need to take a swim. And I'm running out of time, so what I'm going to do is close with this. Last time I was in Singapore, I went to the zoo and I had tea with an orangutan. This time I'm not going to do that. I'm going to have breakfast with an orangutan, and you can too. All you have to do is sign up. I kid you not. You can even do it online. So, you know how to get a hold of me. If you have questions, if there's anything that I can help you with, please don't hesitate to, yes ma'am. I believe that. I believe it's also the cleanest place and the safest. I will walk those streets at 10 o'clock at night and feel perfectly safe. Just saying. Thank you. You're welcome.
And as you know, a book will be placed in your honor at McShane Elementary. Thank you very much. Kathy mentioned a few things. If you're into Rotary swag of any sort, I promise you, when you go to Rotary conventions, you'll find anything you want. But a couple things. Karen mentioned Jennifer Jones. What an impressive lady. She was the international president when I was there for the convention in Melbourne, and just incredible speaker. Just her thoughts and what she wanted to do with Rotary, and she had a wonderful year. And then finally, the other thing is, you know, you've all seen the Olympics when all the flags come in, but as Kathy mentioned, the procession of flags, and you see just the number of countries that are there, it just again shows you how much Rotary touches people worldwide. So I'd highly recommend if you have a chance to go. Fill those out. That's for the, Great, great. Now the four-way test. Melinda.
What do I do afterwards? Is it? All right. Oops. If y'all will repeat with me, the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Right? Bing. Okay. They talk faster than I do. It's like,
Yeah, you could. Thanks.